Hey, mother lovers, welcome to SpainISH. This is a podcast where we try to not go off the rails but stay on topic with things either directly about Spain or weave in Spain somehow. My name is Tony. I'm based out of Alicante, and with me is.
I'm Molly, and I'm based out of Madrid.
Yes, you're American, I'm Norwegian. We have our unique perspectives, but somehow we very often align.
And before we go any further, please, if you're watching this and you like us, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. We love engagement, interaction.
We love, and a shout out to all the cool people who commented on the last episode on YouTube about living in the US versus Norway. I don't know if you guys heard our prayers or if we just hit a nerve. Either way, we highly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We hope you're coming back and not just a one time thing.
Yeah, we don't like one night stands. We're more of a commitment kind of people.
Exactly.
Diving into this podcast's topic, we're going to talk about Bad Bunny and the polar opposite, Taylor Swift.
And why are we talking about Bad Bunny and Taylor Swift?
First off, I'm a pop culture nerd, and they're very much at their peak, I would say. They're in the media. Bad Bunny, because, well, he's insanely big here in Spain, but for anyone wondering, he's Puerto Rican, technically American, I guess. He's like the number one artist here. His genre is reggaeton, and it's so weird. Like, seen through the lens of things here, he seems like a world dominating artist. But go to Norway and no one has ever heard about him. But the artist that they have heard about is Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift, yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is just she's a global sensation. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but Bad Bunny is that as well. But do you think you could find a country or a region where no one had heard about Taylor Swift? The same way as Norwegians haven't heard about Bad Bunny?
Probably somewhere in Asia, like China. They have their own like culture around music that maybe doesn't include global sensations.
If we have any Chinese people listening, specifically people who are resident in China, comment. We want to know. Have you guys heard about Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny?
Yeah, if you don't know either of them, you are definitely living under a rock.
That's one heavy rock you're living under. Should I just kick off my relationship and summary of Bad Bunny?
Yes.
Context. I am Norwegian. Never heard of Bad Bunny before I came here to Spain. I will say, though, during my stay here, he has grown like exponentially as an artist. I first discovered him knowingly in 2022 when he had a hit called Titi Me Preguntó. Later on, I discovered that I have heard him several times, but he was more of a featuring artist with bigger other artists. One was a song with Dua Lipa. He kind of like came in and did his rap verse thing there. Another one was with Becky G, actually. To be fair, his style, especially on the Becky G song, was quite different. For my less trained reggaeton ear, he was like a generic whatever.
Just like sound in the background.
Yeah, well, not background. He had his verse, but it's like, okay, insert generic rap here or generic reggaeton, and then we move on. The same way you have Dua Lipa with Levitate, and then you have Da Baby coming in. It's like cue generic rap. Da-da-da-da-da. Anywho, Titi Me Preguntó, that was a huge song. So when I started going on all the clubs here in Alicante, that song was just pumping out of the speakers. Fast forward a couple of years, he releases his latest album that I don't remember what's named. I probably need
The
to edit
latest
this
one,
down.
right? The last one he put
Latest
out.
album. Yeah, the one that has Debí tirar más fotos. It is called Debí tirar más fotos. What do you know? That is the album title as well. Short summary, that's reggaeton merged with more traditional genres like salsa. He really hit a nerve both with the younger generation, but also not older generation, but he really unites people with this album. He had music that would start to appear not only on clubs, but on dance socials where they have salsa. these places, they usually have a lot of niche music or older songs. So having something that's on top of Billboard 100, suddenly you can play that at a dance social, and vice versa. They play it at a club, and then suddenly people who know salsa start dancing there. I was one of them, by the way. It's just a beautiful album in so many ways. And a lot of the themes here is centered around his heritage, being Puerto Rican, being affected a lot of tourism. There is a song called Turista, if I remember correctly. And his accent, okay, first off, for me, it's hard to listen to a Spanish song or Spanish speaking song and understanding everything without the lyrics in front of me. And the
Mhm.
second layer is the Puerto Rican accent. Like I'm lost. I don't understand anything unless I have the lyrics in front of me. But I kid you not, when I read that song, a couple of tears came
Oh,
down my eye. It's
yeah.
pretty wholesome and sad song. And there are several longer music videos connected to this album where they have a more cinematic approach and exploration to some of the themes. And I highly recommend people checking it out. For a lot of people, me included, that album has a nice spot in my heart.
But do you think if you didn't speak or understand Spanish that you would be able to connect with it in any way? Like if you were just
Um,
like mumbling the words the entire time?
Well, not at the same level. But again, as I mentioned, I had and still have a hard time understanding the lyrics on the
Mhm.
fly without looking them up.
Mhm.
So let's say that I didn't speak any Spanish, but I had Spanish friends. So I had that introduction to him. I would have almost the same emotions around it because the themes are universal and the rhythm is there, like the medium, even though you don't understand the lyrics, it's something about the tone, the vibe of it. Maybe 80% I could be there without speaking Spanish.
But like if you lived in Norway right now, you definitely would not have been exposed to Bad Bunny.
No, here's a fun memory. My first week of starting university, which I'm studying remotely, I had to show up at university. And there were a couple of social events, and there were some foreign exchange students there from Spain. And they took control over the Bluetooth speaker and they started playing Titi Me Preguntó of Bad Bunny. And my reaction immediately is like, oh my God, you guys are playing Bad Bunny. And they're like, hey, you know. But the other Norwegians, they're like, what is this?
But they didn't know who he was at all. Like
No,
they'd never heard of him. That I find that surprising. But I guess maybe not. Maybe I don't know. I wonder if in other parts of Europe like Italy or France if he's popular.
maybe a bit, but not too much because the thing is, every country, the way I look at it, okay, Norway, for example, yes, there's a lot of international and US artists that we listen to, talking about pop culture here. And then there are the artists in Norway. And then if you take France, for example, it will be the same. It's like, hey, we have this international stuff. There's the Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, whatever. And then we have our French artists. What's unique about Spain, on the other hand, they kind of operate in two global worlds. One is the international one, and the other one is the Latin one, which technically is international, but it just includes all of the Latin speaking countries. And
Mhm.
I'm mainly thinking of South America and Spain. But yeah, technically, if you say Latin, you should include Italy, Portugal, and I guess France. And within the reggaeton, I have seen like collabs between Brazilian artists, Spanish speaking artists. That's one artist that's named Emilia. She did a collab with someone I think is Brazilian. And that song is kind of cool because they jump between Brazilian Portuguese and Argentinian Spanish. So when the Argentinian is singing, they put on Portuguese subtitles and vice versa in the music video.
That's cool.
But I'm curious, do you have a first memory of Bad Bunny?
Probably similar to you, I had heard him before in features and just didn't really ever pay attention, but I am just not a reggaeton person. I am not now and I was not in the past. I don't know. I just for me it's really hard to understand and connect with because of like how fast it is and like I guess I could just sit there and read the lyrics, but it's not my thing.
then his latest album, Te vi tirar más fotos, would be for you. Because, yes, the main genre is reggaeton, but there's so many other things and there's so many other layers. And maybe someone will debate me and say there is reggaeton there, but it's not the main genre.
I will listen to it. I will give it a try, especially because of the Super Bowl. I want to see how that plays out. I will be like the rest of the world, like studying up on the songs.
So, for context, Bad Bunny has been booked to play the halftime show, the NFL. For some people, it may come across almost a bit controversial. He hasn't done a show in the US apart from Puerto Rico in I don't know how long for different reasons, political. He recently finished a 30 show tour or residency in Puerto Rico. After that, he's announcing, hey, I'm going to play at the Super Bowl. And everyone's like, what? The ICE police are going to come and arrest half the crowd? Like, how's that going to go down? It's going to be interesting to see. And not everyone who's a fan of Super Bowl is a reggaeton artist. But to be fair, there's a lot of artists there that I guess not everyone would connect with. It's usually a English singing artists, but I will point out that we had Jennifer Lopez and Shakira play a couple of years ago, and they kind of go in both worlds, even though Jennifer Lopez Spanish kind of sucks.
Correct, yes. Didn't Bad Bunny, wasn't he there that year? Didn't he? I think I read that somewhere.
He was performing with Shakira and J-Lo.
Or maybe I'm thinking of another Spanish speaking person, but so I don't think that's technically his first time there.
I'm looking up a clip and it says Shakira and J-Lo celebrated. Oh yeah, he's there. 2020.
So yeah, this is not his first rodeo.
And dude, the glow up he has had physically since then and before that. Like, there's a meme going around that they should do case studies on the rebranding of Bad Bunny, because you take Bad Bunny 8 years ago and Bad Bunny now, and they're two different human beings with two different auras and risks and mojo and however you could define it.
So we talked about this before, but I didn't realize that the whole world looks at the halftime, like who's performing at the halftime show. I thought it was just like an American topic, something to like look forward to, but not an internationally known thing.
It is huge. They talk about it in Norway. Again, like, I am obsessed with pop culture, but like it's pretty known in Norway who's gonna play the Super Bowl. So maybe someone will open their eyes to Bad Bunny this time around.
I also wonder who chooses who gets to be. Do you know anything about that? Like who decides who gets to play at the halftime show? I just wonder if it's like a political statement, or if, because the artist has to pay, from what I read. Like the artist has to agree to take some costs when they perform. It's not like you just show up and everything is there for you. Like you have to bring, I think, I don't know. Like it's not at no cost to the artist.
I know that they're not getting paid to play there. That I know. If they need to maybe split the cost on dancers and equipment and whatnot, I don't know the ins and outs. And I don't know who selects the halftime artists, but I assume they select with intention of getting the most possible eyeballs.
Like, do you know the culture around the commercials, Super Bowl commercials?
Even though we can't see them in Norway, they are a hot topic there. There was even a small company, a producer or a distributor of nuts, peanuts. They had as a campaign in Norway that, hey, we can only afford a 5-second ad at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So let's
it's like
have
billions of dollars. It's an insane amount of money per second that these companies are paying to have airtime during the Super Bowl. But it's like a subculture. It's very much like people watch the Super Bowl for either the halftime show or the commercials, and very rarely the football game. It's
Yeah, I don't give two squats about the football.
Depending on who's playing, I don't either. But
Well, are you a football fan? Had there been times where you're like, go Cleveland Browns?
I always like the big events like the World Cup or the Super Bowl, or like the Olympics. Like I only watch like the I don't like to see the hundreds of games that they play before. I just want to see the best of the best playing. Whatever that says about me, I don't know.
You're the supporter when everything goes okay, no?
Correct.
Let's transition into Taylor Swift. Like, speaking of the NFL, like, she made some waves when she was there last year with her now to be husband, Travis Kelsey. That's his name. I think she could do a halftime show. Like, in terms of like how popular she is, even though it's like more Swifties and
She could, but I don't think she would ever because
no.
she wants her shows to be, from what I understand, she wants her shows to be like a paid exclusive experience. She doesn't want it to become so mainstream. I don't know. I think that's just her style.
She's not handing out freebies. That's what you're saying.
Well, she was the one that took her all her music off Spotify because she didn't want it to be just streamed for free, even though she gets royalties from it. Or maybe it's just her business people like advising her what to do. I'm not a big fan of Taylor Swift either.
I'm not gonna say that it's not for values and political reasons, but so many of those decisions, it's money based. Like, even when people, they weren't really buying CDs anymore, but it was like the only way of getting a hold of her music, that, or I guess maybe buying on Apple Music. She sold a ton of CDs via Walmart when she was not on Spotify. So, like, holding that back for a while, cashing in, and then later going on Spotify. She has done different stunts. And her not owning her own songs and basically like tricking people to buy her albums the second time, because then she just re-records. It's the exact same song, but it's like new recordings, and now she owns the recordings as well, and you go buy them and you support her. It's like, oh, like, she had the money to buy those back the first time around. So, like, cry me a river, Taylor. I'm sorry, but I don't buy that.
You're not a fan.
I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not a Swiftie, but I'm not anti either. Like, I'm not that polar. I'm not that opinionated as the rest of the world is. But should we take a step back and like walk through Taylor Swift's journey in our lives? You can start. When did you hear about Taylor Swift the first time?
I used to like Taylor Swift when I was a teenager, or whenever she first put out her first album. It was like a
Mhm.
country genre. That album was like my childhood, like my high school experience. So every time I hear those songs, I think of when I was a kid, and I like that. I don't know, I was probably like 15 or 16 years old. I don't remember how old I was, but yeah, I have good memories of those songs. And then she started to become more mainstream and pop, and I liked her for the album after her country album, but then after that I started to lose interest because to me it was very unoriginal, her music.
So songs like Shake It Off.
Those songs that were overly overplayed and over I that album I stopped liking and stopped listening. But I did love her in the beginning when she was playing her guitar, and yeah. What about you? Did you listen to her as a country artist?
I did. I do remember the Romeo Juliet, da 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 be along. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a nice song. And then she slowly transitioned into pop, as you said. She got super mainstream, and I was kind of like, yeah, there's some okay songs here, but not a diehard fan. Like,
Yeah.
not humming along to Shake It Off, that was impossible. Like, because it was just played all the time, and even though you got sick of hearing it, still going there with the air word, like shake it off, woohoo.
Yeah, yeah.
Like her or not, she has made a dent in history. She will always be there. Yeah, she left her mark, and she keeps leaving her mark. So my relationship with her and her music, yeah, she was big. She did a collab with Ed Sheeran in 2013, maybe. Fun fact, he used to be a warm-up artist for Taylor. A lot of people claimed that tickets were sold to come see Ed Sheeran and not Taylor. For a lot of people, she was the second act, or like she was the warm up.
Before her like eras, that kind of stuff, right? Before
Uh,
she really blew up.
I
Or are you meaning recently also?
no. This is like, yeah. I guess before the eras, like those damn eras. I don't know what they're called or
I don't
when they
know
occurred.
either.
I just know they're a thing.
Yeah.
Now Ed Sheeran, I guess he was a warm up artist before Multiply came out, and that's 2013. So 2012, 2013, around that time.
So she was still kind of country back then.
Yeah, I guess she was transitioning over.
Mhm.
They have a nice song. I think it's called Everything Has Changed. And
It was
that
in a movie,
obviously,
right? It was a
maybe.
movie. Yeah. I
What's the
don't know
movie
his name.
about? I'm curious.
I didn't watch the movie, but I know that they have more than one song, right?
Together?
No?
Maybe.
If they're such good friends, why do they not have more songs together?
Because she's a money grabbing artist, and I guess Ed Sheeran to some degree as well, but he has a more chill persona. I don't know. I have no idea. Like they're
Yeah.
both very talented songwriters, or at least they both used to be, and now we have one talent, and then the other one maybe a bit less. I would say
Who's
Taylor.
the
I'm
one?
referring to.
The thing is, everyone says that she's very talented, but she has a whole team. Like nothing about her life is just her, you know? So I'm sure that she has a team of writers, she has a team of everything to help her be who she is.
I guess so. I saw a documentary about Taylor Swift right before COVID. It was on Netflix, and she claimed that every day for the next 2 years is always planned out.
Wow.
And
That's
to do
crazy.
that, yeah, and to do that, you need a team. Like she is her own brand. She like without Taylor, there's no billion-dollar business anymore. Of course, they have backup, but she's still the songwriter. So obviously, she's not operating in a vacuum. She has team around her, but like, oh, like obviously, she's gonna write a lot of the songs. That's why they're kind of bad and out of touch now because she doesn't have enough real life experiences.
Well, I was listening to someone like break it down, a Swiftie, the other day in preparation for this podcast. And they were saying that this past album that she just put out was not as well written, but it was not as well thought, not as crafty as she has been in the past. And they blamed it on her relationship, the engagement, everything. I think that's probably a good thing that you're just spending more time with your future husband and not in perfecting each song and making it what it was before, because obviously she had more time when she was either single or in bad relationships. It was her escape.
Yes,
Her music is not going to be as on point as it was in the past.
her writing all those breakup songs after how many known boyfriends she has had. Can we try and name them? I tried to think of them. She never publicly dated him, but I do remember seeing a photo. Taylor Swift sitting on Tom Hiddleston's lap, Loki from Marvel Thor,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they were sitting next to Ryan Reynolds with Blake Lively. Other boyfriends. Did she? There was someone from One Direction. Was it Harry Styles? Maybe that she dated.
I think so, but I think that was a press relationship.
Could be, but still, I
And
think they did her thing. She got her heart broken, and then like breakup song, and then
most of the guys she's dated, when people say their names, I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
okay, so then you're not gonna help me with the next one because
No.
she did date a famous guitarist, and I can never remember his name.
What's the band?
No, he is the band. Like he's a famous
Oh.
guitarist, but he's also singer. But he's a better guitarist than a singer. He
And he's famous?
has, yeah, an American. I think he dated Katy Perry back in the day
John
as well.
Mayer?
Yes, John Mayer.
You don't know John Mayer?
I know John Mayer. That's why I'm mentioning him. I just didn't remember his name. John Mayer,
Yeah, John
Taylor
Mayer
Swift.
he's a character.
Briefly linked romantically from late 2009 to early 2010. Okay, we're gonna edit this down, but Taylor Swift boyfriends. Let's go.
Does this really interest people, do you think?
We can edit it out, but I'm gonna go through it super quickly
Okay,
here.
please.
Okay, rapid fire. Drew Dunlap, Jordan Alford, Drew Hardwick, Sam Armstrong, Joe Jonas, Taylor Lothar, John Mayer, Adam Young, Jake Gyllenhaal, Connor Kennedy, Harry Styles, Calvin Harris, Tom Hiddleston.
Calvin Harris? What a
Yes.
name.
Joe Alvin, Maddie Healy, and current, not yet ex.
Not yet.
I forgot his
Travis
name.
Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey.
The last boyfriend.
My last note regarding to Taylor Swift, I got curious to listen to the last album from start to finish because there's been so much writing. As you said, former or current Swifties, they're kind of taking a bash at her latest album. Taylor, she appears in media getting defensive, saying, well, you guys not liking the album and criticizing it, you're just helping me because you're giving me more exposure. What a billionaire baby.
No, I saw that video. Don't you think that was AI?
That's not AI.
How do you know? I'm pretty sure it was AI.
No,
That's
she
my-
was. Hold on. She was doing a Taylor Swift. She was doing the interview with the Apple Music guy.
Okay, if it was an interview, then no, but
Taylor Swift, Apple Music with Saint Low is his name. Okay, I'm not gonna watch it again, but no, I watched that clip. Don't remember the source where I saw the clip. It might be edited, but there was too many people reacting to it. No, I like this is not. I'm not writing a thesis. I don't need academical sources here. I'm gonna claim it and say that happened.
I just remember seeing it and being like, this must be AI. This cannot be real.
Not everything is AI, Molly. Chill.
You never know these days.
You never know.
Okay, well,
But I listened to the album. My conclusion is there were a couple of good songs and a lot of fillers. Some in betweens. No drama.
here's my question to you as far as which artists you like. Obviously, you think Bad Bunny is a good person and you think Ed Sheeran is a good person. Do you think Taylor Swift is a good person?
No, I don't.
I don't either, and I don't think I can support someone that I don't think is a good person. That is always my thing with celebrities. Like, why would I even spend my energy looking at you or in consuming your content if I think that you're a bad person?
Well, let's flip it. I assume there's some music you like from artists that you don't really know a lot about.
That's true. Her personal life is like all on the table. Very much so. But that's by design. A lot of famous people don't put their stuff out there because that would make them less likable. And but that's an art. That is the art of being famous. You just don't put everything, just like the Chrissy Teigen thing. The less you say, the more.
Yeah.
Or Teigen, whatever it is.
I listen to a lot of different artists. My Spotify lists 50%. I cannot name the artists. I don't know if it's one person, a group. I don't know where they're from. I don't know if they're convicted, a virgin, if they're saints. I have no idea. I just like their music. That's it.
So you can separate the two.
Yes, definitely. And again, Taylor Swift, she had some cool songs on the last album. She's had some before.
And she'll have some in the future.
It's just fun to debate.
Criticize.
And yeah, we have to hate someone, no?
That's true.